This is Ben Doughty for The Hardest Game with upcoming light welterweight prospect Dean Gardner. How's it going today?
Not too bad. Just finished a nice little tap-out session on fight week. Ready to go on Saturday night. I've got 8 rounds with a former Welsh champion, so looking forward to this one. Been training my arse off, been in camp for 11 weeks on Saturday, so yeah, ready to go.
So your opponent is Angelo Dragone, your first 8-rounder, and for the statisticians, first fighter with a winning record, former world champion, as you say. Most meaningful fight to date, I would think.
Most important night of my career so far. Obviously, we wanted the Southern Area title fight. We had 3 opponents lined up, I would say, and all of them fell through. That's the politics of boxing, even at this level, that I'd like to talk about a little bit later. We'll cover that, obviously. But yeah, grateful to my manager, Steve Goodwin, obviously Alec as well, who helps behind the scenes. They organised this fight, got me a very good opponent, got me the 8-rounder, and yeah, we've been flying in the gym, so I'm looking forward to getting in there.
I noticed that Dragone already has another fight lined up for July after the fight on Saturday night. Sometimes that suggests a journeyman kind of agenda schedule, like they're just getting the dates racked up. But as far as you know, he's coming to win and he doesn't have that attitude.
Well, he's been posting it on his own social media, the poster saying it's going to be a good 50-50 fight. He's trying to sell the tickets and stuff. And look, on paper, he's done 3 10-rounders already. I haven't done even an 8-rounder yet. So experience is on his side. He's won a title. So, you know, going into it, I'm not underestimating him. I know he's going to come to win, and I know what I'm coming to do as well.
On the subject of experience, I believe that you had a relatively threadbare amateur career, or perhaps actually didn't have an amateur career and have learnt on the job. Is that the case?
That is the case. I only had 5. So I was on the unlicensed scene. I've kickboxed since I was a kid. Muay Thai kickboxing. Started off in Taekwondo as a junior. Got to a high level in Taekwondo. I had over 50 fights from 8 years old. But when it was time to turn pro, I ended up hurting my foot. And when I hurt my foot, I said, right, well, let me just work on my hands for a little bit. So I've always loved MMA, planned to go into MMA actually. And then, yeah, I just found my way into boxing, got the bug. Thought, oh, okay, when it was time to turn pro, this is the one I wanted to choose. Met Alec Wilkie in the process, and the rest is history. 5 years now in the game and loving it.
This week you credited Danny Cassius Connor as being a prime mover in your journey to wind up with Alec Wilkie and fall in love with boxing.
Definitely. Danny saw me on social media over COVID, saw me hitting the pads with my brother, training every day, running like a madman, because over that period of time, there's nothing going on. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to feel like a boxer. You know, I wanted to feel like an athlete still. And he messaged me and said, listen, I want you to come up and meet Alec. And then from there, the rest is history. I turned pro with Alec, had to have 5 amateur fights. The board made a new rule saying you have to have amateur fights now. So that the unlicensed fights had 5 at unlicensed level. That weren't enough. So, They made me do the amateurs for 5 fights, did them in about 2 months, and then turned pro.
You're 10 fights deep into your pro career. The sole loss on your record was against the prolific and very capable journeyman, Jordan Granum, in your 3rd fight. I believe it was Cliff's Pavilion in Southend. Can you talk me through that particular experience, the reversal?
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of them where don't underestimate the journeyman. You know, the journeyman turned up, fancied it on the day and put it on me. Obviously, I don't have a massive amateur background. I'm not.
And he did.
And yeah, he was a great amateur, one of the best the country's seen. What did he go, 27 fights unbeaten or something like that?
I know he had a glittering amateur career, certainly.
And as well as that, he's way bigger than me. I mean, I think that fight was middleweight, super middleweight, which I campaign now at super lightweight.
Yeah. As you know, myself and your trainer, Alec Wilkie, we don't want to hear about super lightweight. We insist it's light welterweight.
Oh, that's right. Sorry for the old heads. What is it?
Light welterweight.
Light welterweight. No, it doesn't sound right to me. I like super lightweight. It sounds bigger.
True.
But yeah, no. I mean, it was just one of them. It was just he turned up on the day. He fancied it. They always tell you stories about if a journeyman fancy, he can beat you. So that's literally what happened. I haven't let it discourage me. And in the process as well, we thought we nicked it. Do you know what I mean? We thought
I was waiting for that. I was actually about to say I commend you for not making excuses and owning the loss and saying it was just what it was, and he's a very capable guy. I was going to say that, and then you just thought we nicked it.
Well, listen, we did think we nicked it, and we thought we did enough. Like, obviously, the first round, I'd say, like he come out with a good jab, like he always does, and fancying it, he put the right hand behind it, which discouraged me a bit. But then once I got into my flow, started putting him under pressure, I felt like I was winning. You know, hitting him all over. But again, it's boxing. I ain't let it discourage me. I mean, look at me now. I'm 10 fights in, looking for Southern area titles, English eliminators. So I don't care.
Talk to me about, I know you had some frustrations to air about the Southern area title quest, because I believe you were supposed to box Marley Mason for the Southern area some time ago, and you were very frustrated with how that panned out.
Yeah, so like we had a few opponents lined up for it. Initially, it was Denechev. I hope I said his name right. I don't want to disrespect him. Yeah, initially it was him, but he got knocked back from the board. So we then started looking at other options, and Marley was one of them. And yeah, listen, look, I know politics exist in boxing, but he agreed to fight. His team agreed to fight. Everyone agreed to fight. It was scheduled to go ahead for this date that I've been training for. Yeah. And then randomly, his team go quiet on us, go silent on us. Steve is trying to push for the fight and try to get things going. He wanted money. So we said, look, okay, we'll pay you we'll pay you a purse. We'll do this, we'll do that. And it's for a title. But it didn't come to fruition. Now, I'm not going to sit... I know Marley quite well. I'm not going to sit here and say he's scared, he's this, he's that, because that might not be the case. I'm not going to call another fighter any of those names. But we were scheduled to fight, and he's been on his story the last couple of days talking about Southern area titles, and he can't wait to get in there and box for it. You had it scheduled with me. You know, you had it ready to go, and you decided to go a different route. You and the team decided to go a different route. That's fine. But then don't start talking about Southern areas when it was there staring you in the face.
I imagine you'd be highly aggrieved if he does, in any time soon, box for a Southern area title when you're not in the opposite corner.
If it's at my weight, which is super lightweight, and if weight's an issue, but super lightweight, what is it again? What do you guys call it?
I can't believe you're saying what is it. I still think it's some newfangled thing. Light welterweight. Aaron Pryor was a light welterweight all-time great champion. He wasn't a super lightweight. Because you say it feels bigger. I'm really sidetracking at this point, and I apologise for that to anyone concerned. You say it sounds bigger, but to me the key word is lightweight, whereas the other one, the key word is welterweight. Am I right, Al?
Yeah, but I don't want to...
Come in and say it then. Come in and say, Alec Wilkie, get in here. In this day and age with clickbait social media, you've got to use whatever you can. This is suddenly interesting now. Make sure you're in shot, Al, very quickly.
All right. Yeah, it's like welterweight for the old boys. But listen,
is that all he's going to say when he just all that big deal like the introduction coming over it?
No, it's like welterweight. That's how we look at it. It's the old weights, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they changed it in the first place, but yeah. But listen, the ink ain't dry on his licence yet, is it? So he will be super lightweight or whatever he wants to call himself.
Okay, perhaps if we can rearrange the shot now, you can go back over to that hobby horse if you want. Thank you. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, the thing is, professional boxing is so riddled with basic financial politics and pretty cutthroat politics at the bottom rung and in the lower levels. Before, presumably, every young fighter's dream, and I would still consider you young, is to break out of that small hall scene and get to the next level where you might have a lucrative promotional contract, television platforms, streaming platform base.
Definitely. And
where suddenly you're not having to, you will sell tickets because suddenly organically then you're a sensation or you're an attraction, but you're not having to sell tickets personally and deliver them all. Is that the dream of a young professional like yourself?
The dream for me is in 5 to 10 years' time, when all is said and done, I just want people from the area, people from around even here, like in East London, I want people to just look back at my career and go, he was a good fighter. That's enough for me, that literally is enough for me. So I want good fights. I don't want to be boxing journeyman. Like I don't want to be. I want my opportunity to show that what I'm capable of. Like anyone who's been in the gym with me, anyone who's done some rounds with me, anyone that knows me, knows what I'm about, and knows exactly that I'm not here to just box and be the hardest geezer at the pub. You know, I want to be a champion. I want the Southern Area title. That's why I'm so frustrated at the Southern Area title situation. And like, I'm very grateful to Steve, because Steve has been working his arse off to try and get me that title shot, maneuver me in positions and stuff. But ultimately, like, sometimes the politics just can't be beat, even at the lowest level, which is the small hall level. Like, grassroots boxing, I didn't think it existed. And I was in for a rude shock when 3 opponents all fell out. Like, very frustrating.
You know, it's Giorgio Isalia, who is an upcoming welterweight prospect who boxed at the York Hall last Saturday.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in a fight against a guy who was like 7-1. It was something of a 50-50 matchup on paper. In the end, I noticed he boxed Conor Meanwell, who had already stopped a few fights earlier, and I know that you've already stopped as well. So that's the politics, isn't it? Again, that whatever happens, the meaningful fight that you're actually quite salivating for and thinking this will be a bit different to fighting some of those tuck-up merchants, and then suddenly at the last minute you get told, well, we're wheeling this guy out again because we just couldn't make it happen.
I mean, Alec tells me all the time, and he will always say, this is why you need to be mentally tough. It's not just, I mean, the name of your channel is The Hardest Game. It really is the hardest game, because it's not just the training that's difficult. People think about boxing, think, oh, the training and the sparring, that must be hard. No, it's the frustration of ticket sales. It's the frustration of fight dates. It's sacrificing 10 weeks for something that you may not even box at the end of that. It
doesn't make financial sense, does it? And so I don't know what skills you have and education in other areas, but obviously you're an articulate, intelligent fella. Sometimes you must think the progress I could be making in any area of life while I'm slogging my guts out of this is very testing.
100%. I mean, I look around me. I'm 28 now. I look around me, all my friends are getting mortgages and moving on with their lives, and you know, but then there's just me, and I'm still in this building process of chasing a dream. Some people must think I'm mad, but maybe I am.
But it's living, isn't it? It's being alive.
Trying to live an unaverage life, I think it is.
Who wants to have a funeral and people saying he was a brilliant mortgage advisor?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Is this
or taxi driver?
Cab driver, yeah.
But talking about you said you want to be remembered in your locale when it's all said and done as a good fighter. But what is your background? Did you grow up in East London?
No, I grew up in South London. I'm from Sutton originally.
Okay, yeah, it's Sutton. So, and your ethnicity. I mean, so there's old school banter in this gym. I'm not going to be too descriptive of it, but there is old school banter, which is a wonderful prejudice-free environment of boxing where everything is a laugh and nothing is taken seriously because there's a brotherhood there. But people see, I hear sometimes quips about some kind of Oriental lineage.
Well, so contrary to what people may hear in the gym when they walk in here, I'm not Chinese. Okay. I'm Filipino. Yeah. My mum's Filipino, full Filipino, that is. Yeah. But if you're in the gym with Alec and he says, "Where's the Chinese geezer?" he is referring to me, but I am Filipino.
Brilliant. And are you?
Yeah. It started through Danny Connors, because he when he introduced me to Alec, he went, "Oh, this is the Chinese geezer I was telling you about." Yeah. And then from that day, that's been
stuck with it.
Been stuck with it. That's it. Yeah.
So I'd imagine you're a big Manny Pacquiao fan.
Massive, huge.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the comeback against Barrios when he's 46 years old?
I mean, I'm of the belief, that if anyone could do it, it can be him. But I think Father Time is an undefeated fighter. I think he gets everyone. However, I don't know if anyone follows like Filipino boxing that's watching this, but Nonito Donaire just come back at 42 years old and won a interim world title. So these Filipinos, man, they age like fine wine, and I think it proofs in the pudding.
Getting back to your assignment on Saturday night, you're not going to do much between now and then, I wouldn't have thought. You had a workout today. I saw you on the pads or the pedals and the body belt, so doing some skipping and a bit of groundwork. What's the next few days going to look like?
Just a couple more sharpen up sessions, a couple more tap outs, like light running and things like that. Nothing strange. The hard work was done all of last week. I mean, I've been training for 10 weeks for this date. Yeah. 10 weeks. It'll be 11 weeks on Saturday when I get in there. The longest camp of my life, most physically draining, because we've had opponent, title, pull out, this, that, finding someone else, announcing the fight late. So yeah, it was tough physically, but mentally this camp has been crazy. But now everything's set in stone, everything's ready to go, firing on all cylinders, and I'm ready to fight on Saturday.
Dean Gardner, it's been a pleasure. Long overdue, you might think. I'm glad we did it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you for coming down. Thank you.